Bible tells us in red letters, seek and you will find him. So I want to share a little bit about the reality that seekers find. So the first one is this promise that Jesus himself made. He says, those who seek will find. Those who knock, they'll find a door open. Those who are coming to God and looking for him will most assuredly bump into him. And so that's a really wonderful promise. And I think about that for those who are seeking God, and the Bible even pushes it a little further, and that those who diligently seek will find. And they'll find that God is responsive, that God is there, that God is welcoming, that grace has come to the scene even before their seeking began. And so with that great assurance, I want to think about the ways that we seek. And so some people will approach seeking through a study of the scriptures, or, in sort of along the rational lines. Where is God? And asking the tough questions and really meditating on who God is and what God has done for us. Others come through a more devotional practice. Maybe they love to worship and they put their headphones on and they're listening to, Rachmaninoff's Vespers, or maybe it's some sort of contemporary music. Perhaps they even meet God in the Eagles. Who knows, right? But there's this devotional sense where it's a love song to God, in a sense, can be a way of seeking. Similar to that, there are those whose devotion would be more internal. It would be a prayer life. So I'm going to seek him through prayer. I'm going to seek him through the inner world, where I'm coming before the throne of grace to seek his face. And there's promises in scripture about that those who seek will indeed find him. And then there's others where they're more practically minded, and they find that seeking him actually works best for them when they're living in selfless service of the other. And they meet him in the poor and the sick and those in prison, and the kind of outreach to those who are vulnerable and on the margins, and they discover him there. And these are all kinds of seeking where we orient ourselves toward a loving God, and then we discover him. Now, what we found about this seeking, though, is that sometimes our seeking can become very religious. Well, what do I mean by that? I don't have a problem with faith practices, if that's what we mean. But sometimes I can be so enthralled with my own seeking and the quality of my seeking and the super spirituality of my seeking, that seeking itself becomes a religious idol, where I'm looking more at my practice than at the one I'm looking for. And so this becomes a real danger in any kind of seeking, where those who seek congratulate themselves, self-congratulate on the passion of their seeking and the wonder of their seeking, the intensity of their charity. And somehow then I've besmirched the seeking that finds with a kind of idolatrous seeking that actually is a way to get lost. And that's where I want to go to next. Is it's not just that seekers find, but it's that the seeker comes to find us. The seeker with a capital S, who finds not only the seekers, but finds that those who are completely lost, hopeless, the ones in the ditch where the sheep is now so entangled, perhaps even in their own religious practices, that they're bound up, and the seeker, Jesus Christ, needs to descend into those ditches and disentangle us and remind us it's not about us and how great we were at seeking, but sometimes how lost we were, and in the darkness the light comes to find us and shine on us. And so I want to encourage, first of all, that if you're a seeker, you will find him. Second, beware that your seeking doesn't become a replacement for the one that you're seeking. And finally, that no matter how tangled and lost you happen to be, we have a great capital S seeker who is a good shepherd and comes to find us when we need him most.
Hi, I'm Greg Albrecht. Thanks for joining us here at Plain Truth Ministries for the video you've just seen. Plain Truth Ministries and what we call Christianity without the religion is just that. Christianity without the religion. We think there's just too many barnacles on the boat of organized Christendom today. And it's become too difficult, and it's become too serious, and it's become too complicated, and really does not resonate our good and loving and gracious God the way it should. So we believe that those barnacles are on the boat of good ship Christianity. We believe and think of ourselves as kind of a one-room schoolhouse, and there's something here for everybody at every level of interest. You may not find everything we do to be of interest, but we think you'll find a number of things here at www.ptm.org. We have a blog, we have a Substack, we have articles, we have magazines, we have daily audio, we have, as you've just seen, video. So we invite you to become a part of what we do here at Plain Truth Ministries, www.ptm.org. Thanks for joining us.